This is Turn On's training series, and we're going to go over capture sites and how to build them. Now, first of all, you have a business right now that you want to develop on the web. Well, if that's true, you're definitely going to have to drive traffic to a website. I mean, you can actually operate this business totally without web presence, but if you're going to do it on the web, you have to be driving traffic. And driving traffic to a website is expensive. It's going to cost you either money or time, and most likely it's going to cost you both. Now, if you're working with just a company-supplied site, you don't have capture capability. In other words, there's no way for someone to register when they get there. Certainly they can go there and buy product. They can go there and enroll. But you really have no idea if they've gone there and not followed through with those two functions. So what you really want to have is a way to capture their contact information. With a regular company site, you have no way of knowing who visited, and you have no way to follow up any visits. And that's a huge negative. So driving traffic to a site without capture capability really is not effective. You need a capture site with a registration form and an autoresponder email follow-up. Period. Now this video will go over two systems that I use for setting up capture capability. The first one is the instant sales system, and you can try a free test drive by going to http://philipjstone.com/instant_sales_system. And by the way, remember, the Philip has two L's in it. Now you can build multiple capture sites and floating capture forms using simple templates in this system. And they have a very cost-effective autoresponder system included. They offer a free trial period for you to try their system. It's $29.97 per month after your trial period. By the way, if you bring 3 other people, refer them into the system, and they're paying $29.97 a month, your 3 people give you the ability to get this entire system free month after month while you have 3 people paying. Now, the second way that I'm going to talk about is a self-hosted WordPress blog site set up to be a capture site. And self-hosted basically means that you don't go to WordPress.org and set up a site there, a free site, because you have limited capabilities in terms of what you can put on that site. One thing you can't put on a site like that is a capture form. So critical that you have a self-hosted WordPress blog site. Now, with a self-hosted WordPress blog, you're going to need a hosting service, a place to have the site, a custom theme so that it looks the way you want it to look, something different, something that you can make really unique and something that's going to fit the needs that you have. You're going to have a form generation system. In other words, something that creates those registration forms. And you're going to have an autoresponder email program. So you'll find directions to building all this in this video. And by the way, if this sounds like a lot to you right now, stay with the instant sales system. Okay, let's talk about the instant sales system real quick here. Now, they have a couple of things that are really, really fantastic inside the system. Since you can't alter the corporate site you have, you can either place a floating capture form over your corporate site, or you can set up a unique capture site. Floating forms don't alter the host site. They sit hovering over the site and give you the ability to drive traffic directly to the unique URL of the floating form. So you drive traffic to that URL, the visitor arrives at your site, but the form opens instead. And it can include a video of introduction, custom copy to engage your visitor. Here's an example right here of a floating form. Now this is actually a template inside the instant sales system. You could put that up in seconds. It has the ability for you to create a custom header. You can add a video. You can put in some compelling copy so people can read about what you're wanting them to do. And as a matter of fact, you can actually put an offer in there, what they might get that's special by registering. And of course, you had your registration form that they can log into. When someone goes to the floating form and they put their information in and click here for instant access, they go directly to the site that you have this floating form hovering over. You can have these things over your Facebook page, your YouTube page, really anything. And you can do multiple floating forms inside the system, as well as different capture sites. Now, the instant sales system capture sites, and I have a bunch of them up. Here's an example of one here. I've kind of shrunken it down so you can see the whole thing. But you see there's a header. That can be done with copy or pictures. Then you have YouTube video here, capture form right there, and then the footer where you can put other pictures, more compelling information. Lots of ways to customize this if you choose to do that. Once your prospect registers, they can be redirected to a sales page that you create in the system that gives them more information, more compelling information about the turn-on program, the product, all that kind of thing. Or you can send them directly to your ToTurnOn site. And by the way, one of the neat things about this system is any of these things can be changed at any given point in time. You want to change the header? Easy. You want to change the video? Piece of cake. Very, very simple. The only thing that you can't change is whatever URL you have chosen in the system to work with. But once you have the URL, you can build all kinds of things. And you can even create subdomains and build floating forms and the capture site all with one URL. All that's explained inside the system. Really good training in the system. Now, the registration form on your capture site or your floating capture form gives you control. You got to figure it this way. People put that information in there. You've got them. You can actually contact them. You can call them. You can email them. And by the way, there's the ability in the system to ask for more than first, last name, email, and phone. I generally don't ever ask for more than that because the more information you ask for, the less the number of people you have converting will be. So you got to figure it this way. People go to your site. They see that form. A good percentage of the people that see that form are not going to register. And some of them actually are not going to give you accurate information. So if you really provide a strong reason, a benefit to convince them to register, you're going to get a much higher conversion rate. The more compelling the offer, the greater visitor conversion rate you'll have. We spell out the benefits, and you can be creative with this. Most sites will say, register here for more information. That's typical. Now, if the more information is important to the visitor, they'll register. If it's not, if they think that they have enough information just by visiting the site, well, you're not going to get their contact information. Simple as that. Maybe it's access to a restricted area. If you have a password protected area that you want them to register so they can get into that. A free ebook. And by the way, that sales page that we were talking about you can create, that could be your restricted area, or it could be your free ebook. You could have the whole thing right there on the second page of the site. You can give them maybe a discount for enrolling, product samples, certificate for special coaching, or tickets to a special event. I mean, you be creative with this and experiment. You can change your offer at any point in time. Find out what gives you the best conversion rate. The largest number of visitors that go that actually decide to register and give you accurate information. Give them a real strong reason and they will register, and then you'll have the ability to control everything. As soon as your visitor registers, the autoresponder email system kicks right in. An email is sent to you notifying you that someone registered at your site, and that includes whatever contact information that they put in. So you've got that bang right away in your inbox. And at the same time, the first of your pre-planned emails goes to the person who registered at your site. Now, the neat thing about the autoresponder email campaign is it can be set up to send at any schedule. You can have one go out instantly, which is typically the way it's done, and then you can have another one the next day, the day after that, maybe take a break for a day or two, then have another one go out. You can have one go out 30 days later, 60 days later, whatever you choose. And by the way, that campaign can be altered at any point in time. And that's true realistically of all of the autoresponder email campaigns that I've ever looked at. But bottom line is, an autoresponder system gives you control of the follow-up. You can send emails with links inside them, all kinds of extra information, all kinds of things to continue to interest your prospect. It's really amazing to me. There are times when I've had people get maybe the third or fourth or fifth email in the system that I put together, and that's the one that they respond to. So really, really important. Sometimes people log into a site. They really don't have a lot of time to experiment, to really look. They forget about it. But the autoresponder email comes in, bang, they're back in your deal. They're back in your program. They're interested again. Now, the WordPress capture site, here's one that I have set up for TurnOn. And one of the big differences here is this is a full-blown website. I mean, you can take a look at that line. You have a home page, about TurnOn, videos, testimonials, presentation. I have all kinds of pages that I can put together inside this system. This can actually be a huge site. So I have the ability to educate and really create more of a relationship with the visitor. And I also have my capture form here. Now you notice this capture form is a little fancier than the one that we looked at in the instant sales system. That's one of the reasons why this is a compelling way to go, but it's much more complicated. So if you're going this way, be aware there's a learning curve here. Now, the first thing, you're going to need a place where your site's going to be hosted. It's got to be on somebody's server. And these are programs that I've worked with, very, very happy with them. HostGator is a really great value. You can find out more about this HostGator program, philipjstone.com/host_gator. And as you see here, they will host unlimited blogs, and they have a very simple one-click install. See, when you have a website, you have to put the WordPress template on top of that whole thing so that you can build your WordPress blog. In some systems, that can be rather complicated. HostGator simplifies it. Bluehost does a good job as well. Different program, some different benefits. All of these things, by the way, are going to be similar in cost. Bluehost, philipjstone.com/Bluehost. You can go there. You can figure out exactly which way you want to go with this. Take a look at one, take a look at a second. But you notice here, they have a really, really good system, and it's very, very reasonable in cost. GoDaddy actually can do the same thing for you if you want to open up a GoDaddy account. Now, if you want to actually do hosting here, it's not as simple as it is with, for example, the HostGator. It's a little bit more complex, but they do have a good support program. philipjstone.com/GoDaddy, and you can find out all about that. Now, after you have your site set up and you've put the WordPress system on top of it, you have to create a theme. WordPress comes with a theme, and it looks like everybody else's theme. You want to have something that's unique to you. So what I did, I purchased the heat map theme. One of the reasons for that is it's very, very flexible. There's a one-time fee, and you can put the heat map theme on unlimited sites. So if you want to set up a site promoting, say, Maca, for example, you can set up a second site promoting Turn On directly. You can set up a third site, fourth, fifth, on and on. Just with this program, you only need the one theme. You don't have to buy one each time. And I've looked at systems where you're talking about themes costing $125, $250, on and on. This is under $100. Very, very affordable. You do it once, you can use it all the time. And there are preset skins that change the color, kind of the color structure, so that you can just very, very quickly put something up and have it look great. There are actually dozens of widgets that can be put into the system that it's set up that way. In other words, what they do is they compartmentalize each and every page so that you can have them customed. You can put advertising there. Once you have enough people going to your site, you can build it where you can put the videos all over the place. Very, 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 very flexible and customizable and really simple. And in addition, they have active support forums. So if you need anything, and by the way, with the tutorials that come with the system, I haven't needed to go to the support forum other than to look at it to see how it was operating. But really, very, very simple system. I really am very pleased with it. I think I've got right now 8 or 9 heat map theme WordPress sites up. The way to find out about this one is http://philipjstone.com/heatmap_theme. Now, with the WordPress, you can get free basic WordPress training. WordPress has a lot that happens with it. And there's just tremendous, tremendous flexibility and ways to customize it. You want to understand about widgets. You want to understand about plugins. You want to understand about how your posts can be done. I mean, there's just so much. It's a whole language, really. We have some free basic WordPress training that you can get through a system I'm involved with, the Smart Media Desktop. And you can download that absolutely free. It's actually a browser that also has a desktop that has a lot of free training, well over what you'll find just on WordPress. But there's really some great basic WordPress training videos in there. philipjstone.com/smart_media, and you can download that Smart Media Desktop. Definitely suggest you do that if you're going in this direction. Now, as far as a form generator and an autoresponder service, what I use is Aweber. There are a couple of other ones out there, but I really like the fact that Aweber has a great, great template system for building those forms where people register. They also have very flexible autoresponder system. Very easy to work with. And you notice here, it's about 20 bucks a month. You get your first month for $1, so you can try it. And that's for up to 500 subscribers. The price goes up when you have more people than that. It goes up another $10 a month when you go over 500. So if you have a good list like that, well, the list is valuable. It makes sense. Keep in mind that the autoresponder here, when you take $20 a month and you say, let's say you're spending $7 a month for hosting, you're about the same cost as you have with the instant sales system. The instant sales system, by the way, does not increase in cost if you have more than 500 subscribers in that system. Your autoresponder email with the instant sales system does not change your price per month, even if you have tens of thousands in there. Now, as I mentioned, Aweber has really attractive templates for the forms. Very, very quick. You can put together a template, have a really nice looking form up there. That's the way I got that heart template. It's one of the templates they have in their system. The autoresponder options include link tracking. So in other words, if you put a link inside your email that the person gets second or third day, you can actually track if they actually clicked and went and followed that link. So that's very helpful to judge interest. And they have really great support as well. To get into this thing, http://philipjstone.com/Aweber. Simple as that. Now, you got to figure it this way. If you want to get things out of the internet, you realistically are going to have to invest time or money, as we mentioned earlier. So let's say that you have a Facebook presence, and you want to send a link on Facebook to the Facebook friends you have. Well, don't you want to know if they actually went there and if they have any interest, rather than trying to follow them all up? I mean, what are you going to do, not follow it up at all? You got to figure this. If you send them a link to a capture site and then you notice in your email that they registered, well, then you know that's somebody you need to talk to. Let's say that you're sending a link in mass email. Same thing. Let's say you buy 2,000, 3,000 email addresses and you send that link in mass. Well, don't you want to have a capture site for them to go to? I mean, realistically, that'll tell you whether or not they're interested. If they registered, that's somebody you need to follow up. Let's say you give a link to a friend. Now, keep in mind, if you give it to a friend, you can always call that friend back and say, hey, what'd you think of the site? So you do have the ability to follow that up because you actually gave that to them. Let's say that you have a link to your regular corporate site on your business card. You hand that to somebody. As long as you have their contact information, you can call them and find out if they went. Simple as that. But if you have a capture site, you can send them to the capture site, and you don't have to call to find out if they went or not. You'll know by the email that you get, the notification that you got that they registered. Let's say that you're driving traffic to a site with pay-per-click. Well, this is a big one because you can spend a lot of money doing pay-per-click. You can also do it very limited. You can limit your budget to $3 a day or $2 a day, or have it even be, $10 up to 10 o'clock at night once a week. I mean, there's so many ways to customize pay-per-click. But bottom line is, when you do pay-per-click advertising, you want to send somebody to a site that has capture capability. If they register, you know they have an interest, rather than just sending the thing out there and hoping people go to your site. If you're promoting your site using any social networking, Twitter, for example, if you want to send somebody someplace on Twitter, you want to send them to a capture site. I have to tell you, I think I probably have about 40, 45 websites up on the internet, and every one of them, with the exception of things provided to me by corporate entities, every one of them has capture capability. If you're driving traffic using a URL on a business card, now keeping in mind, again, if you hand somebody the business card, you have their contact information, you can follow it up. But let's say that you put a business card on a bulletin board. You have no idea if anybody looks at the business card, if they go to your site. If you have capture capability, that changes the whole game. If you use a URL on marketing materials, let's say you're putting your URL on flyers or on a billboard or on a bus or any type of advertising you might do. If you have a capture site, then you know who went and you know their interest level. Simple as that. So my suggestion always, when you're doing marketing like this, send them to a capture site. So here's some resources. First of all, this is a program, Lightscreen, free program, that gives me the ability to take screenshots. In other words, I can let's say I'm watching a video like this, I can just go bang, and I now have a screenshot of what was on my screen at the moment in time that I took it. You can also take screenshots of small parts of a screen as well. It's free. Download that. And the reason I'm suggesting it right now is because here are all the resources that we went through in this video. Now, the easy part is it's all philipjstone.com / whatever it might be. But if you have the light screen, you can actually click on that and take a screenshot. Then you can print that out. You've got this whole list. So my suggestion, download light screen, get it together, and then replay this, fast forward it to the end, do a screenshot of this thing, print that out, and now you've got a list of your resources you can use to build your systems. Hope this has helped. Keeping in mind, if you have questions, you can always get a hold of me. That's what I'm here for. Bye-bye.